take your phone calls live. 877-853-5247. Meeting ID is esports extra. That's 377-678-9872. I hit the pound button twice to join the show. Larry Ridley here. We got 5-on-5 basketball, ladies and gentlemen. 5-on-5 hoops right here. We have been graced by the presence of Kelly Wales Brinkley, Olympian, all around good person down there in Houston. Everybody, bow to the queen. We are lucky
This is what we're doing today.
to have her back.
This is
Thank
what we're
you,
doing
thank you, my
today.
queen. Thank you, my queen, for being back. How you doing, Kels?
I'm good. I'm happy to see y'all.
Man, we're happy to see you. What's been
Life
going
isn't
on?
right without you guys. Well,
Oh,
I figure, it's kind of like that thing of like, you can't give them too much. I had to, y'all, I feel like y'all started taking me for granted. So, no, I'm just joking. No, for real, we're rebuilding the house from the storm. So you got contractors, stuff's been nuts. But something that was supposed to take 10 days, we're more than 10 days in.
seriously though, how are things going? I mean, look, it was a rough, few weeks for you guys out there. Everything good though? Everything trending in the right direction?
Yeah, yeah, we're getting there. Stuff is happening. We're replacing things. The house is like put back together almost. So we're thankful for that. I've had a couple of great sponsors send some wonderful things to me. Shout out to Eight Sleep. Got a
Ooh.
whole new sleep pod going on here.
Okay.
You gotta check them out. Like Google it. It's amazing. So yeah, we're here. We're here. We're alive.
Okay, we out here,
I got some
kids.
new hair, so I mean I'm good too.
Man, and that hair looks good on you, child.
Thank you. Thank
Good.
you.
Ooh, girl, you look like a mix between Kelly Wells and FloJo right now.
I'm okay. I'll take that. That's a
You'll
good
take that,
one.
girl. You better. And the
But I'm happy to
periods.
see you guys.
All right, good stuff. It's good to have you back. OG, are you in Dayton or Brooklyn?
Man, dating until Saturday. So I got
Okay.
what, 4 days, something like that. Man,
Yep.
I'm so tired today, man. I'm I'm whooped, but I'm happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Willie, you down there deep in the heart of Texas too? What's up with you, man?
Doing well, man. Happy to be on here to talk to y'all, man. It's good to be here.
Ready to put some technology on this track?
Always, man. Once again, it's on.
Yes, sir. And then this guy right here, kids call him Dagwood. Uh, Darren Warrell, what's up with you, man? You got some energy today?
A little bit of energy. It's gloomy outside. It's been raining, but I'm okay.
Yes.
I'm hanging in there.
All right, let's get it started, guys. Ready to get started. I got no sense. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough. We're talking NBA. LeBron James will get into that. LaMelo Ball, we'll talk about that as well.
Oh, hold on, LL. You wanted somebody to say, "Oh, he the plug." That's
Go
what
ahead,
you
do that
wanted.
thing. Do
Yeah, I
that thing. Go
said,
ahead.
"Hey, oh, he the plug."
Oh
Riding
man.
around with 4 bricks.
Now, when he said G-Shock, I'm like, hold on, is he talking about a gun? No, it's the
You talk
watch,
about the
right?
watch.
The
Watch
watch.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, man. Yes, Randy Moss, man. On call the body. Uh, stop, dude. You know me. I'll lose track. Don't do this to me, man. Let me concentrate here. We'll talk. He got me again. Damn it. LaMelo Ball. We'll get into that. Washington football team. Does that name stick around? It just might.
I
At
like
least
it.
for another
they
year.
need they need to stop, man.
And we're gonna.
Yeah.
I've got thoughts on this. Save it. I definitely want to hear you guys' thoughts on this because you got to be on one side of the fence. Like, oh, I like it. Like, dude, really? Y'all gonna be that boring and that plain?
Hey,
We'll
listen.
talk about that.
About winning games. Who cares about the
Hey,
name?
look, they ain't got no cheerleaders, people sexually harassing people.
Yeah,
There's
come on,
bigger
man.
fish to fry than a name.
I kind of like the
People need
EST
to
in the end zone.
people need to learn how
I
to
got my
keep their
thoughts,
hands
but
to themselves.
I'll wait till we get to
Yeah, that's true. What about Mike Tyson Holyfield 3? We'll talk
Mm.
about that. Compete for Everyone Black News Channel this weekend, episode 43, season 55 of the Madden League. Divisional round here. This is where the rubber meets the road, man. Who's going to make it to the AFC Championship game in the Super Bowl? We'll find out this weekend. Myself, Dakwood, and also BB, Brandon Bell, bringing it to you this weekend here. on our Black News Channel. And then the Big League Chew, NBA 2K Association, about to start the thing up. The registration start opening up this weekend. And live finals will be April the 24th. So we'll talk about that. Great to have Big League Chew on board. Big League Fun, Big League Bubbles as well. Bubblegum Fun, Big League Chew. All right, let's start at the top. LeBron James hurt his ankle on, I believe it was Saturday. Was it against the Hawks? It was, right? Against the ATL.
Yes.
Going to be out indefinitely. I'm hearing multiple weeks, more than likely, maybe a month. Most of the time, high ankle sprain, you're looking at 2 to 4 weeks. I'm going to say he's going to miss bare minimum 10 games, maybe more. We're going to start with you, A. Willie. You should know a lot about this. How long will LeBron be out? Over, under 4 weeks and 10 games. Go.
Uh, I think he's going to be out 10 games. Over. I would say that. No, it won't be under. I'm going over. And part of it is because it's probably needed. You know, you got to say these guys from themselves, man. I lived in Chicago when Derrick Rose was going through his thing, and from a guy that tore his Achilles, me, um, when you are having other injuries, before I tore my Achilles, I was having a knee issue, I was having a calf issue, I was having a back issue.
Mm,
That's screaming that something is about to happen. So
mm.
when Derrick Rose missed those 25 games of a 66 game season going into that lockout year, and he tore his ACL in the playoffs, the first day of the playoffs, he had a knee injury. He had an ankle injury. He had a back injury.
Back. Mhm.
That's telling you Derrick Rose needs to sit down, right? So with that being said, I think the
Sit
Lakers
his hot ass down.
sit him
As they
down,
like to say
right?
down
Save him
south.
from himself, right? Facts, no doubt. And so, I think the Lakers need to save LeBron from himself. And then the other thing as well, too, when you start talking about with ankle injuries and stuff, this is another reason why I want him to get ample time. Because you see guys come back from this stuff, case in point, college basketball. Rutgers was playing amazing basketball this year. Ron Harper Jr. had a high ankle sprain, came back, right? Wasn't the same player when he came back because they rushed him back. So I would like to see LeBron James take all the time that he needs so he can come back and be LeBron James that we know and love.
Absolutely. Kelly, your thoughts here. You're down there in Houston. I know you keep up with the association. LeBron with the ankle injury. Should they just go ahead and be like, dude, we'll see you in May?
Yeah, a high ankle sprain is like a broken bone. That is
Hmm.
something that takes a long time to heal.
And the way
So
he
that's
has kind of got injured, that's tricky too.
yeah,
Stop
and
LL Solomon Hill, LA guy did this, man. I'm sore about
That's right.
that.
yeah, you got ligaments and stuff. And just like A Willie said, like athletes, we chase the pain. So you feel like you fix one thing, then something else starts hurting. Then you fix that, and something else start hurting. So you're chasing the pain, not really dealing with the root of the problem. Then you're gonna have to deal with after you come back and after you do that, your fitness isn't going to be the same. So then that's going to cause something else to go because you're trying to push yourself to limits that you were at 12, 15 weeks ago. So I think he needs to sleep in the hyperbaric chamber, chill, relax, fix himself, be a good teammate, be a leader, because they're still going to be looking at him as the leader of the team. But just lead in a different capacity because you don't want anything that's season ending or career ending because you're trying to rush back from something like this. And still have ample time to make the playoffs and do what you got to do.
Uh, Durham, when we saw him, he got the injury, came back and played a little bit, and then he left for good.
Hmm.
Clearly writhing in pain there, a little upset. Banged a chair on the way out into the locker room. What do you think about LeBron, man? Should we just look? He's getting up there in age. What is he? 35 now?
36, isn't he?
36, 35,
36.
36.
Yeah.
He's got a birthday coming up in December. I know it's December
Okay.
30th. So, what should the Lakers do?
You
And
gotta
we
sit
are
him.
we are hearing that AD might be back as soon as Saturday, so that could help them a
Mm.
little bit as well because they got skull drug last night
Yeah, I think they've
by the
lost.
Pels. Hmm.
They've lost three in a row. Um, Normally in football, a high ankle sprain is you out 46. You ain't
Oh yeah,
seeing that guy for
yeah,
6 weeks.
yeah.
In basketball, you play more games. I would think you're not gonna see him for a whole month. I wouldn't see him till May.
Well, that's on the lower end. That's four.
Yeah, yeah. And he's an older guy, he's a big guy. Um, I just don't think you're gonna see him for a while. And you don't want to come back too early from an injury like that. Then it could be really, really bad. You hope that the record doesn't dictate them pushing him back. Um, but they've lost three in a row. There's no AD either. Hopefully, they can get him back to kind of help out, maybe carry the weight. But if you don't have both of those guys, Lakers in trouble.
Yeah, and like I said, it was that right ankle. Solomon caught him on the back, on the outside of the ankle, rolling on the inside, and clearly clipped him there. OG, what should the Lakers here do? Like, look, it's got to be more than 4 weeks, OG, right? I mean, why even screw around with this thing? I don't want to hear him coming back or even thinking about coming back for at least 6 weeks. I want 6 weeks, 15 games. That's what I want. Six
Yeah,
to 8 weeks, 15 games bare minimum.
yeah. I mean, there's really no rush. I mean, they're not gonna miss the playoffs. The thing about it with LeBron, I I mean, I troll LeBron fans a lot and everything like that, but it was painful to watch because those are one of those type injuries where you're just standing still and
Mhm.
somebody just falls into you. And like normally LeBron is probably the most graceful uh player to land when he goes up in the air. Like he hardly ever comes down like hard or falling down. Like he normally has good impact when he hits the floor. And then that is just one of those freak things where somebody landed into him. And I can tell like from somebody who's normally not hurt, like you could tell that he was in pain. And the thing about not rushing him is that he impacts the game on both sides of the floor. So he's always active, always moving around on defense and dictating the tempo on offense. So it's gonna be if he comes back anything less than 100%, it's pointless. So I'm like you, and like what Derwin said, 4 to 6. I don't see him coming back no time soon. They know they're gonna take some lumps, but they're not gonna miss the playoffs. So it's no need to rush.
Well, it's just like AD. Remember, we got hurt before the All Star break. It was back in mid to late February. We said, look, give him 4 weeks. No, he's not going to play before the All Star break. I will give him another probably 2 or 3 weeks after the All Star break. And look where we're at right now, March 24th. Probably won't play until Saturday. That's what, March 26th, 7th, 8th, somewhere around there. So you got another 3 weeks past the All Star break. That's what we were calling for. We wanted 6 to 8 weeks bare minimum, and we got that with AD. So hopefully we'll get that here with LBJ. We'll keep an eye on it. Lakers still what, second or third place out in the West?
Fourth,
Um,
fourth,
Fourth.
just got passed by the
Got just
Clippers
right
last night.
Last night, Clippers did get the win. And yeah, that's exactly right. Good stuff there. Thanks for that catch there, A Willie. Keep it in the NBA. Got the
One
trade
second.
deadline. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I didn't
Go
realize I
ahead.
was on mute. But they've lost three in a row,
Yeah.
and you really can't count on AD all the time to stay healthy. And they're in the
Oh, no.
fourth spot. You guys are talking like there's no chance them falling out of the top 8 spots if you don't have both those
No.
guys.
Well, this is,
But D,
AD's going to be back.
they would have to go to 10 to not
Mhm.
be in the play-in games. They would have to go to 10. They would go to 11 actually
Okay.
to
Right.
not qualify for the play-in games.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
then one thing, let me say this real quick.
Go
OG,
ahead.
you touched on something about LeBron knowing how to fall, man. If there are any parents out here, or if we can clip this, I always say this: don't have your kid playing one sport. Let your kids play more than one sport so they can learn how to do different stuff, learn how to fall. I say that a lot when I'm scouting guys,
Mm.
and I would write my reports. It's amazing to me how many basketball guys fall on the ground on every single play. These are the most unathletic, athletic people in the world.
Well, it's funny because like when we had practice in football, especially like on Thursdays or Fridays when we did our walkthroughs, our coaches hated when guys fail. Get your ass off the ground, stay up, blah blah. So I definitely get that when it comes to falling on the ground. There's an art to falling too.
Facts.
There's definitely an art to that. NBA trade deadline tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time, 3 o'clock. Where are you at, Kales? Did you know that in the Central Time Zone? I'm just messing with you. You got a glass. I just want to call you. I like your glasses, by the way, girl. You are styling and profiling. Look at you, girl.
You're on mute.
Yeah, you muted though. I
Yeah, I
saw
was trying to be like OG with some zennies on.
Ooh, I saw both of you guys. You all swagged up, got the sponsors. Can you throw some? Your boys wear, your brothers
Man, I'm
wear.
still waiting on some damn bubble gum.
Big league. Big league.
We got to get on that. I'm gonna get Brian to send you some swag, man. We got to get on that. NBA trade deadline tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. You're hearing names like Aaron Gordon from Orlando. You'll hear Oladipo down in Houston.
Hmm.
You know, you got your boy with the Cavs, Andre Drummond. You might even hear some Alonzo Ball. You
Kyle
might want to
Lowry.
hear Kyle Lowry, absolutely, with the Raptors. Marcus Smart with the Boston Celtics, just to name a few of those guys. Kelly Oubre as well, Golden State, I'm hearing a little bit about as well. What are you guys looking forward to tomorrow during the trade deadline? Aaron Gordon better go because, damn, he had a damn press conference last night. We basically said, I've been wanting to trade since February. I don't like it here anymore. And I think he's a really good kid. I remember he moved to Orlando in 2014, was a top 5 pick. I interviewed him first when he got drafted, moved there with his sister. Very nice guy. He's outgrown Orlando. He's tired of losing. They better move his ass. Who do you guys looking forward to see getting shipped out of town? We'll start with you, Kels.
I'm interested to see what happens with Oladipo. I feel
Sure.
connected to him in like two ways because like the Orlando thing, he was there. And then him being here, his family's a track family. I know them pretty well, so I want to see where he's gonna land because I feel like he's so talented, just hasn't like found that home yet, and I would love that for him because he's still a young kid and he's very very talented and he's like a nice all around guy. So.
And he's feathery, as he liked to say back in the day
He's like
with the
dumb
jump shot.
athletic,
He
like
is.
just athletic all around. So
And
I
really,
like
really
it.
good guy. Just a good
Hmm.
community guy. Very well spoken. I like Oladipo. You get good vibes when you're around him. Nice and chill and relaxed too. OG, your thoughts here? Trade deadline. What are you looking forward to?
Let's see what the masterful Shannon Marks.
No, exactly. You want Andre Drummond now too? Is that what y'all
Hey,
want?
I know something is brewing. Now I
Mhm.
don't know what, but I know he's not finished. So that's really all I'm paying attention to. But um, I think the Lonzo is what's intriguing to me.
He wants $20 million a year.
I mean,
For
I'm sure
what?
they all want that, but I mean, he's had a phenomenal year so far. But I mean, I'm anxious to see where he goes. I've been a big ball fan, but like me, I look at a lot of the one and dones, and I still give them those college years when they get to the NBA. I love to hear A Willie's take on it, but it's like some of them are successful when they first come out as a one and done, but I still give them that extra 2-3 years to where they'd be a junior or senior in
Hmm.
college. They just learning on the fly. They just paid internship, but
I was about to say getting paid.
Hmm.
yeah, because some of them really don't be ready, and you can. Yeah, and so when they finally start to play well, it's like about time. But I mean, technically, they would still be in college. I mean, if they didn't leave early, so I'm that's probably the most intriguing for me to see what happened with Lonzo.
Yeah. Some days he looks like a 15 to $20 million player, and some days he looks like a $2 million player, or league minimum. So, but you're right. He's still young. This jump shot has gotten better. The free throw shooting has improved slightly. We'll see about Lonzo. Your thoughts, A Dubs? NBA trade deadline. D Dubs.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
No,
Let's
go
go.
ahead, D.
No,
No,
no, no.
no, go ahead,
Yeah, I
D.
want to save
Go
you
ahead.
last. Go ahead,
Go
D
ahead,
Dubs.
Yeah,
D.
yeah.
D Dubs.
That's interesting to see if Kyle Lowry gets moved. A couple of years removed from a championship.
I'm hearing Sixers. That would be huge for them.
Yeah,
He
you
can
know
might
who
tip.
else is involved too?
He might tip the scale for someone. But that's the one guy I'm looking at right now, as his team is kind of sitting in the 11th seed. But what do you think, A Willie?
Yeah, I would like to see Kyle Lowry because I'm also hearing the Lakers are involved too.
Of course.
So
Well, y'all need some shooting. That's the one thing that you all are struggling with.
and more
Yeah.
playmakers,
Mhm.
more playmakers, and experienced guys LeBron, and that veteran group can trust. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Kyle Lowry to see what happens there because I do think, and I think the organization will do this if they move him. But he deserves a solid, whether that's Philly, whether that's the Lakers, whether the organization owes him a solid. Move him to a place that they're competing for a championship, a place that he wants to go. Those things. The other guy I'm really looking forward to as well to see what San Antonio does with DeMar DeRozan
LaMarcus
because
Aldridge too. We show pictures of him as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But I'm really looking forward to see what they do with him because they got young guys at those wing positions that they're looking to develop. And he is a guy with his playmaking ability to get in the mid range, ability to incorporate others. Hey, man, what's going
What's
on?
up, buddy?
They
We have to
said
stop
hi.
the show just for you, man. Just for you.
Hey.
Continue.
But the way that he incorporates others because that playmaking aspect of his game is improved. And, especially when you're facing OG's Nets or a team like that, you can never have enough playmakers out on the perimeter. So I'm looking forward to see what they do with him. Then for my team personally, what happens
Don't
with
nobody care about your team.
yeah,
What's wrong, man?
the whole league does.
Oh, there you go.
If what they do with if they're going to try and do something with Montrezl Harrell, and
I
he
heard. Why would they do that so
yeah, this
soon?
thing is interesting, man. Like,
It
so,
is.
and he responded to it, right?
Oh boy.
He tweeted out some googly eyes.
Oh
So
yeah, that's what that was. Okay, that's what
yeah,
that was about. I
yeah,
wondered what that was about.
Just
That
got
yeah,
him.
makes sense.
yeah. He responded to it. So I'm interested to see what happens there, because the other thing that's kind of shaping some of the moves that these teams will make is, there was a lot of anticipation for the 2021 free agent class, and it's not as robust as people thought it was going to be. Kawhi's part of it, Chris Paul's part of it. So it's still some good guys that are going to be part of this class, but it's not that monster class, Paul George, all those guys that people thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, LeBron, AD, they were all potentially part of that
I
class.
know.
mean,
I know.
at any
We know.
given
We
time.
know. We know. Damn.
And LA, you know what? See, this is the thing. I think
Look at him flexing.
I
We win
think
games with
LA
2 All-Stars out. Like, we ain't got no problems. We go like 14 of our last 15.
But
Man,
at the same time,
this is peachy on Atlantic Avenue right
a
now.
healthy LA, they I don't think they have to make any move. Not a healthy LA. I know obviously when AD went down and then now LeBron went down, those pieces you see they get exploited. But when it's a full unit and they all clicking, then it's a whole different team. And I just think that's the only thing. Like health wins championships at the end of the day. I mean, I think that's been determined the last 5-6 championships. There's always been a team missing some players due to health, and the team who wins is fully healthy. So I think LA healthy though. I didn't think they really needed to make too many moves. I mean, really, I mean, now of course if they got another weapon, I mean, once Harden went to Brooklyn, but before then, I thought LA was primed and ready to go, but injuries are taking place with everybody right now.
Yeah, OG, we love you. I don't want to hear a lot about Brooklyn. It really turns my stomach sideways, dude. Like I'm so over Brooklyn. Like we get it. You guys are good. We get it.
I
Go
have
ahead.
some thoughts in about a month or so. I'll be talking about another.
Oh,
I'll be back talking though.
Whatever happened
I'll be quiet, but I'll be back talking.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, D-Dubs, what are we gonna do if we get Nets Lakers final? Like, literally, what the hell are we gonna do?
I'm gonna have to go get my gray and my black and throw it on. Brooklyn.
I probably would too, but that is just not a good option, man. That's like being a Jets fan and watching the Johnson Patriots play in the Super Bowl. Who do you root for?
Yeah,
Who do you root
always,
for?
I've always thought.
You're West Palm Beach.
Stop it.
Stop. You've given up to Empire State.
Let me
You've
tell
been
you
going to Florida too much. You got something old age.
Nah, man.
All going would be like, hell no, I'm not rooting for no Mets, and I don't give a damn about the Jets.
I
Well,
grown
he
up.
didn't say
I
he
grew
was
up.
rooting for
But
them. He was saying he was defaulting.
Oh, but see, that's just as bad.
No.
That's what I'm saying. No, you can't do that.
Yeah, man.
Clean it up, Joe, and I'm here. Cleaned up. How you gonna clean up?
I'm saying I'm a Yankee fan.
Mhm.
My mom is a Met fan. If the Mets go to the World Series and they're playing another city, I'm not gonna root for the other city.
No, I'm gonna head out, dog. SpongeBob. I'm gonna head
It's
out.
New York. Yeah,
I'ma
I
head
would
out.
rather my team, but it's still New York.
No, see,
I'm not gonna root for the Royals.
See, it'd be different if you just said, "Look, I don't care. I ain't got a dog in the fight. That's fine." But to say you're actively going to root for the team in your city that's not your team and not your borough, you can't do that. That's not New York, man. That's what makes this place special. We choose. Even I know that, and I'm a transplant. We choose. Darwin, that's what I've been told, right?
It's a city. It's like the name on the back of the jersey or the
He's
name
got
on the
it
front
all.
of the jersey.
Let's
The
go
name
to
on the front is
LaMelo
New
Ball.
York.
I never thought I'd see this day. Darwin
It's
has
New
gotten
York.
no. He draws a hard line with freaking Cap and Cam Newton but I'll root for the Mets and the Yankees.
You
I'll
guys
root
ain't
for the
winners. I'm
Jets
talking.
and
We
the
talk.
Giants.
I need winners. You
What?
guys
We're
ain't
not doing
winners.
it. We're
Well,
not
let
doing
him
it.
off the hook.
I don't have the patience. I didn't come here for this shit.
Oh my
No.
goodness.
Moving
Oh
along.
my goodness.
Next subject.
We'll go with you, Kelly. Lamelo Ball, broken wrist, going to be out at least 4 weeks. They're saying maybe he can come back. Now they're saying maybe not. Actually, it was no, maybe, and now maybe not again. Which one is it? Is he done for the year? Should they
I
just put
thought
him
he
on
was
ice?
done.
I
Well,
feel like
it
he's
depends on
done, but
what the reports
yeah,
read.
I think like you got to listen to the athlete. Well, not the athlete actually. Don't listen to the athlete. Listen to the athlete's body. Because we're athletes, we're irrational. Um, so I feel like you just got to play it by ear. But if it's done, then just make it be done so he can heal. You know, I feel like reports. Anybody can put anything they want in the media. Everybody's gonna go back and forth, especially at this time of the year. Um, like teams leak stuff all the time. It's this, it's that, this is happening. Um, surgery is something serious. So, like, let the boy heal. He's young enough to where he can come back, but why push it if you don't have to?
Yeah, I think he
Hmm.
broke the wrist Sunday, right? Was it against the Clippers? I think it was Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, because
Yeah,
LeBron was
yeah.
Saturday, he was Sunday. Your thoughts here, OG, on Lamelo Ball? Should they just call it a wrap, a Reynolds wrap, as our good friend Brandon Bill would say?
Yeah, I mean their team is. I mean, other than outside of a few players, they're youthful. So I mean, they don't nothing to rush. I mean, he's gonna be the player that he's destined to be. I mean, I hate it because I mean he's fun to watch, and and I don't wish injury on anybody, but I don't think it's nothing they have to rush or be worried about. It's not like it's only a few contenders in the league right now, so
And who's
it's
one of them? Tell us who one of them is, especially in the Eastern Conference, if you don't mind telling us.
Philly.
that was good.
But yeah, it's no rush. I mean, like I said, he's been electric. I think I know y'all seen D'Lo got ridiculed on. He got ripped on Twitter for not for the rookie of the year. He put his guy Anthony Edwards right when Melo got hurt, and it was like definitely not the time, and they ripped on him on Twitter. But he's been he was by far to me the rookie of the year until his injury. So I just hope he gets healthy and well and come back and even better than what he was.
Yeah. Your thoughts here, A. Willie, on Lamelo? I mean,
um,
if you were working with the Hornets organization, what would you do?
I would sit him because I've sustained this injury, and I went up for a dunk, got low
Damn, dude.
bridge.
Every injury we talk about, you said you've had it.
I've done it.
Hey,
So
Willie,
Damn,
the
dude.
Black Bill Walton, man.
Yeah.
I've
Derrick
done it, man.
Rose.
No, literally, I went up for a dunk, and the dude low bridged me, and I put my hands out to break my
Mhm.
fall and broke my wrist. And
Mm.
and what I was told when I went through it, they immediately put it in the splint
Mhm.
because what you're dealing with when you break that wrist, and he's dealing with the exact same injury I had, it's the scaphoid. And if that's not dealt with and put in the splint
Hmm.
immediately, actually that nerve could go to sleep, and they'll have to amputate your hand. So that's
Mm.
not an area to mess around with.
What?
Same
So
thing happened to
Huh?
me. Same
yeah,
thing. I felt
Excuse
the
me?
yeah,
same thing.
Excuse me?
yeah.
Go back. Huh? Amputate your hand? What?
Yeah, because that nerve, if that nerve dies, if they don't splint your hand immediately and get that thumb just like that where it can't move, that nerve could die. And if that nerve dies, that impacts blood flow, and they might have to amputate your hand. So they got to deal with that immediately, even though it's like a broken wrist and it sounds routine.
Mm-hmm.
If you are kind of lackadaisical with it, it can be something very, very serious. And so now the other thing that happened to me as well, and I didn't have access to the type of rehab that LaMelo Ball would have. The other thing that happened to me is I had to learn how to shoot again because what happened to me was I can't follow through on my right wrist like I can on my left. So my follow through was different after it healed up
So your range of
because
motion wasn't as good.
exactly right. So they can't mess around with this, So my left follow through is like textbook, and my right, I can't go all the way through anymore because
Mhm.
I broke this wrist. And again, being a D3 athlete, you don't have access to the stuff that an NBA guy will have access to. And so, with that being said, this is not an injury to play around with. This dude is the franchise, man. You don't mess around with that.
Mm. B
Hey,
Dubs, I guess we're gonna go ahead.
hey,
OG.
after the day, we gotta call A Willie MD.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff ain't no joke, man.
Hey, Willie's
After
been
after
around.
after what A Willie just said, it says you might as well just sit him, put the IR on him, don't
Yeah.
put him back in. I'm looking at a team right now that's 500 in the middle of a playoff chase. It's still early, but and I'm thinking in my head, well, maybe they can kind of play it by ear, let some months go by, let them heal up, and if they're in the playoff race, maybe play them. But if it sounds like it's more than just bone, your wrist. It's
What
ligaments involved. It could be all other kinds of stuff involved in that wrist. They got to get that right because he is the future of that team.
Well, to your point, D, the other thing too that happened to me as well when I came back because it wasn't rehab the same way and I rushed back. The other thing is ever so often, this is not a collision sport, it's a contact sport.
Mm-hmm.
So ever so often, if I was pushing off of somebody, if I was setting a guy up for a screen,
Hmm.
and now this is my shooting hand, my wrist would be sore for a couple days after that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So my wrist didn't get right. And I wasn't able to like push off of people, or if I did too many push-ups, or if I was lifting, holding the bar, it would get sore. What got my wrist right was boxing. Boxing got my wrist right. So that resistance of hitting the bag or sparring with people and stuff, that got my wrist right. So now I don't feel it as much. But if they don't do this thing the right way, this is something that could affect him
Could
all
have
the way
lingering
down the
effects.
line. So they can't
Mhm.
mess around with this, man.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about the lingering effects on it. Speaking, on you, of course, going through, this injury, the rehab, and all of that stuff. So, wow, you just gave me a lot to think about with Lamelo. I was already thinking like, yeah, just sit him down. I'm like, they'd be crazy
They can't
not
mess
to sit
around
him.
with
Like
this, man.
that'd be malpractice. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they can't do this
They
to the
cannot
young.
mess around.
And given the rookie of the year, by the way, and LC in 2021 2022 season to the NFL Washington football team. uh, Jason. What was the guy? Jason. Ah, the new president there, young brother. Used to play in the league. I forget his
Oh,
name.
he's a yes.
Yeah, I forget his name. Anyway, he was interviewed yesterday. He talked about the Washington football team name. It's bland. It's boring. It's going to stay, but the fans are warming up to it, and they're going to take all of that into consideration when they come up with a permanent team name. Permanent team name will be made and announced next year, but it could be just WFT and they could just keep it the way it is. Do y'all really believe that? Are they really going to name this franchise in the nation's capital, the Burgundy and Gold, WFT? Are we really doing the team, Washington football team? OG, is that what we're really doing?
I think so. I mean, one of the reasons why I say that because of the climate that we're in. I I
Pick
mean,
another name.
well, what I'm saying is
Damn, there's a million.
you gotta be strategical about what name you choose. I mean, because
I don't know. There's like 6 billion. Pick one. I don't know.
for
What
years,
would you call him?
Anything but Redskins.
I mean, sure, the way it's offensive words pop up, new offensive words pop up every day. So
Every day
it,
you gotta walk a fine line around here.
so yeah, I'm just saying it's safe for now. I mean, I'm gonna be intrigued to see what they come up with. Also, a graphic that I saw. I guess they're supposed to be. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but some all black uniforms or something like
Ooh.
that. I seen on social media floating around, but like I said, it's a safe choice right now. I mean, but definitely, I think what I heard Derwin say when we was talking about it earlier was, yeah, get some wins, and
that
then
would
I guess
help.
the name and everything will take care of itself.
Yeah. Kelly, your thoughts here. WFT, Washington football team. That's about as bland as it gets.
So it's Jason Wright,
Yes,
their
Jason Wright.
president,
Yes,
Jason
I knew
Wright.
it was Jason something. Yeah.
Mhm. So I'm a Richmond, Virginia native, born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. Went to Hampton University. So, uh, Washington football team is like the team of Virginia. It's either you
Yeah.
like Washington or you like Dallas,
Yep.
in Virginia. So that's just how it goes. So I grew up watching, Washington. I was about to say the R word. And so they've always been like super near and dear to my heart. A bunch of my really good friends played for them. What I do think is a marketing genius that what they're doing right now is this is building suspense. So you keep building. This is what it's going to be. This is what it's going to be. Even if you drag it out for another season, now everybody's wondering what the name is going to be. Now there's no pressure to choose because there's lots of time to figure it out, see the climate of the world. Because like OG said, every day a new word is offensive. Something that you didn't even know was offensive is now offensive. So maybe this will give them a chance to see how the tides are going. But I think that what they're doing is genius when it comes to headlines and stuff because it's keeping them, at the forefront of the sport without winning. But
Mhm.
also, like I said, they need to worry about people touching people inappropriately, sending member pics to other people. They just got rid of the cheerleaders. So they got a whole host of problems. The name, people are going to go, people are going to support regardless. So let's worry about women not getting sexually harassed at work. That would be awesome. Keep your penis to yourself,
Mm.
boys. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that.
Alrighty.
Thanks, Mom. We'll do just that. You requested it. We're gonna do it. Derwin, she brought up a good point, which is it's kind of like in the media. You know how you throw something out there to see if it sticks. What sort of reaction you're gonna get from the fan base. This seems like what the Washington football team is doing. Y'all really want this plain name? We'll give it to you if you really want it.
Yeah, I actually like it because it's different. Nobody has, Washington football team or Carolina football team. I kind of like the EST 1932 in the end zone. It's different. I like the W on the side of the helmet. It's something different. And now they're going into an era where that defense is really good. They get any kind of stability.
Go Chase.
They get
Go
any kind of
Chase.
stability at the quarterback position with Ryan Fitzpatrick and the receivers they got Scary
McLaurin.
Terry, and
Hmm.
they just brought in a couple other guys. They
More right from Carolina. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Dallas. People are
Why would you
praising
be?
Well, I was
Dallas
going
right
to say,
now
why
because
would you?
because
Why
Dak
would you
because
be?
Dak
Don't.
and they made some signings,
God.
but right now, if what's it say? I mean, I think Washington can get back to the playoffs.
Sure.
Maybe they win a playoff game.
They made it last year.
Anybody in the East can get to the playoffs. No
I
shade. No,
look.
all shade.
8-8's
Well,
going to win the division next year.
But no,
yeah,
I agree with you, Derwin. I completely agree. Yes, they're on the. It looks like they're on the upswing.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely on the upswing. With Chase Young, they got a young defense. They're getting after people. Like I said, offensively, any kind of stability. You know, get back on that running game, which would look really promising with the young backs that they have. I think that they could be a problem. And just say hypothetically, they make it to an NFC Championship game with the WFT on the side, the W on the side of the helmet. I mean, I like it. I don't think there's any rush to put out a name. I think eventually, a year or 2 years from now, people are going to want to say, come on now, you got to name them something. Either going
Well,
to keep it or you're not going to keep
spoiler alert. Season 55, the champion was the team, Washington football team.
it. Yeah.
Hey, Willie, your thoughts here on Washington football team? Are they going to go throwback like Alabama and Penn State? Like this is who we are, old school, boring. Are they
Not
just
falling,
are they just teasing us? You ain't falling for it.
not falling for the trick bag,
Thank you,
and
thank
not
you,
falling for it.
thank
And
you,
and
thank you.
first reason why I'm not falling for it is because, you know, the league now with the new media deal coming in, the owner's all about money, right? They're about to get a $300 million check without playing the game, without getting anybody coming to the
Well, they
game,
just
right?
got 10+ billion from TV
Right.
rights.
So each owner is about to get 300 mil, right?
Mhm.
Now here's the other thing. With that being said, if they become the WFT and that's what they are, they can't sell any merchandise with just the mascot on it, right? So they can sell Washington stuff
And
and then
W,
they can sell the mascot stuff as well. Now,
right?
if you call yourself WFT, you can't do that, right? I see Dallas shirts, I see Cowboy shirts.
I
You
see
selling
stars.
both,
Hmm.
right? So with that being said, I don't see them falling for the trick bag and doing that. One thing I do want to touch on, like one of the things that Kelly said, in addition to the fact that this is coming into the forefront, the fact that they are about to let Dan Snyder get majority ownership with all of the
You
stuff that's
saw it.
been going on in that organization, people are not talking about that right now, right? So that's the other thing.
Now,
And
how are they going to let him get majority
well,
ownership when he already
so they
has
just
it?
No, they just no to buy out all those other people.
Oh,
Yeah, to
snap.
buy out everybody else because he's got it like a light bill. His sister's got a piece, his
Yep.
mama's got a piece, and then he's got a piece. Let me put some of this in my mama name. Let me put some of this in my sister name. Right? So he got it like that. And then you got the other minority
See, in the
owners,
hood,
right?
we put light bills in our kids' name and ruin their credit. But Dan
Terrible.
Before
Snyder,
they even get started.
before they, yeah, oh, okay,
Right.
that's how they
So
do it. Rich
now
people, got it.
he's about to get there's a motion where and he has until 2028 to pay that money back. But he is about to get some money so he can buy them out and own the whole deal. Right. So you got that going on. And then the other thing as well for me, man, every time I have to stop myself, talk about living in this era. I have to stop myself because every time I say WFT, I want to say WTF.
WTF?
Yeah.
Right. So that's another reason why I'm just not falling for the trick bag and seeing this happen. And then the last thing
Okay.
that was
Okay.
said as well that really made me think is that they said we want to have something that ties us to the past. Bruh, your name was racist in the past. What you talking about? Right? So hold up. Like y'all need to get a whole new name and get away from the racist name. And with that name, it's not that that name just became offensive. That name was always offensive. It's
Been
now
offensive.
y'all got to be held accountable. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Really? All right, brother.
They got to stop with this, man.
Give the man an offering.
I'm gonna let that marinate a little bit. Hey, Willie,
They
you
got to
good?
stop with this. They got to stop with this stuff,
So
man.
why even risk putting a name out there that someone somewhere is going to find offensive?
Someone.
You know, really, when we first started this football season, what were we talking about? We were talking about name change. We were talking about all the female allegations against the organization.
Mhm.
Ron Rivera just walked in. He's trying to find his quarterback. We don't know if the young kid was the guy. We found out he's not the guy. And I said, what's good? They need to change the narrative. And what wound up changing the narrative? They started to win some football games.
Yeah.
They wound up making the playoffs.
They did.
And Alex Smith.
But
Alex
but
Smith.
D, I'll say this to you,
Mhm.
right? Now, when you say that you want to have a name that ties to the past and your name was racist, right? You have to peel the onion and think about that. And we
Who
hold
said
on,
that,
let me
though?
finish. That's what Jason said in his
Oh,
statement.
Jason. Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
Jason said, right? Now, the other thing as well that I'll say is when the XFL came online, right? There was no talk about any of these names being offensive when they named these teams. Not one, right? As the G
Well,
League has come online, there's no talk about none of the names of these teams, none of them. So not every name is offensive, but when your name is that R word and you are trying to tie it to the past, you're gonna have an issue. If you want to tie it to the past, how about you go to Native American people and ask them what is a name that's that's respectful? What is a name that's not offensive? How about you ask them,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
If
kind
you
of like
want
what
to
they do
tie
at
it to your
Florida State.
past.
It's kind of like what they do with the Seminoles in
Yeah,
Tallahassee and stuff.
yeah.
It's more of a partnership. So
And
I
I got history with that LL because when I was working at Nike, Florida State was one of my basketball teams that I work with. So
Mhm.
we did a lot with N7. I got history with that. So that's what I'm saying. Ask them instead of y'all sitting in a room and trying to figure out what's not offensive while you trying to tie it to the past. Ask
Mhm.
them.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. We'll see. We'll see what happens with the other. I'm with you, A. Willie. I'm like, I don't know. Are you
I
really
ain't
gonna
falling
stick
for
with
that,
this? You
man.
really gonna stick with? That's why I said, y'all really think they're gonna just stick with this bland team name? So we'll see here. Yeah, it's gonna be fascinating. Real quickly, Tyson Holyfield 3. Who you got? You got Iron Mike, or you got Real Deal? Go, Kales.
One of the old men. I don't know. Like
Oh man.
nobody wants to. I mean, I watch it on. I'm not gonna pay for it, but I watch it. Because
Don't be
like
telling on yourself, Kelly.
right, my bad. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. But no, like, is this for charity?
No. Mm-mm.
Wasn't the first one for charity?
Yeah, the
they
first one was for
What, for
charity.
Roy Jones and those guys?
Holyfield want to
yeah.
Uh-huh.
get it in. Holyfield want to
No,
fight,
no,
fight.
it's
Didn't they
like
give away
no.
money or something?
Yeah,
I'm
no, it was for charity. The
I
that
think
one
it
was the
was.
but the
first one was
fighters
for
got paid, right?
charity.
Because I'm hearing $27 million for this fight.
I know that Tyson's whatever like whatever that was for charity for
Hmm.
certain.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I don't know if it's for charity. Great.
Hmm.
Can't we
We're
do
talking May
raise?
29th in Miami, by the way, as well.
Can't we raise money some other way other than punching each other in the head? Like, don't we already have enough like brain injury? Like,
True.
I am against traumatic brain injury, and they made it somewhat because I know both of them, and they didn't make it. So why are we gonna like inflict more? Can we do something else? I mean, I'm gonna watch though.
These like geriatrics. I'm not into that. D Dubs, Holyfield Tyson 3. Who you got? Holyfield leads the series, by the way, 2-0.
Yeah. Anybody that knows me through childhood, I've always been a Holyfield guy. That's been my guy. Can't
Warrior.
can't imagine. I was at Virginia State University, um, being the one guy from New York City and Virginia that wasn't rocking Tyson.
Mm.
I was
That
an
is weird.
outcast.
That is weird. Yeah.
Yeah, but I always felt that his style would be the kind of style that would beat Mike, and that came to fruition. So I'm gonna still rock with him. But age thing is different now. They're in their 50s. I think I mean, Tyson still has that power. I'll be a little afraid for Evander, but Evander just has the heart of a
Evander
champion.
looks good too. We're
Yeah,
showing pictures. Look at Evander. He's cut up for
yeah,
50 plus. Both of
yeah.
them look real good
But
I
yeah,
mean, they look great.
I love them both. I just hate to see these
until they
guys
get
getting
hit.
hit in the
Right.
head, man. To see
Hmm.
what happened to Ali at the end of his career. And then we just lost Hagler out of the blue.
Mm.
And since we lost Hagler, they've been showing that Tommy Hearns fight, that first round. And do you see how many shots that Hagler took to the head in that fight? They talk about one of the greatest first rounds ever in boxing. And he was just eating that punches like duck sauce.
Hagler won that fight too. I think
And
he
Hagler
knocked
won
him out
that
in the
fight.
sixth. He knocked him out in the
Knocked him,
sixth or something.
knocked him
Yeah.
out in the
Yeah.
third. Knocked him out in the
third.
third.
Okay,
That
yeah.
was a
I
3 round
felt
fight.
like,
Yeah.
not to get off topic, but Hagler never really got
The
the
dude.
roses
The
that he
credit.
really
He's right.
deserved.
He did.
He was really a great champion.
He was the best. He was the best middleweight for about 10, 12 years, man.
Yeah,
No,
man.
no doubt. No doubt. No
And
doubt.
then they let Sugar Ray go rob him, but that's another story. When they fought late in the career. But yeah, I really don't want to see these guys punching each other in the head like Kel said. But if I had to pick one, I'm gonna rock with Evander.
May 29th, Hard Rock, Miami Gardens. So that's the stadium, the football stadium, side of Super Bowl 54. Part of Tyson's Legends Only League. OG, who you got? Tyson, Holyfield, Iron Mike, real deal.
I mean, I always been a big Mike Tyson fan. I don't think at this point of his career, he has to. Evander has to worry about Mike, nibbling on anything. So
Ah,
I think I think we'll see a full schedule, rounds of however many it is. But I don't know. Like I feel just like everybody else. I mean, at some point, I know what it's like to be passionate about something and for it to be a big part of your life, but to keep sitting up taking hit after hit after hit. I mean, because these guys still are power. They're more powerful than most. So
Mhm.
than the
The old
average.
man strength.
Yeah. So it's like I don't want to say I'm going to watch. I mean, but I don't want to say I don't want to see nobody getting knocked into a nursing home. Right the following week of the
Mm.
fight. So, but other than that, I'm a big Mike Tyson fan. I always like Mike.
I will say this: that's what they're signing up for,
True.
and it's like Ivan Drago, right?
But
If he dies, he dies. You know what I'm saying? So
Let's break
No,
you.
who wears their supports? Who
Yeah.
who who is
That's
signing
it.
off on this?
That's
Yeah.
it.
that's
Who
That's it.
around
Somebody,
them? Yes, someone has to save them from themselves.
right.
Like
That's what I
athletes
was. Yep.
will always push the limits, and you always think you're better than what you really are. You always think you got one more game, one more rep
Hmm.
than what you really do. And anybody that's ever been majorly injured has always said, I knew I should have stopped the one before.
mm.
And you know what's going? Just
Go,
one
go, no,
quick point. You know what's
No,
go
no,
ahead.
gonna?
I'm
Hey,
raising
look.
my hand at what Kelly said.
Hey,
I
Willie,
should have. That's when I. Yeah, facts. I'm just
You,
raising my hand.
you
Like
know
yes.
is going to make this one a little bit different from the Roy Jones one because Roy Jones was not a heavyweight. He knows he wasn't a
Light
heavyweight.
heavyweight, light
Yeah,
heavyweight.
and he won't take in Tyson's punches. So they call that an exhibition. And Mike was really wanting to fight, and Roy really was not trying to mix it up, but he did. He wanted to hold his own. You put Tyson and Evander in that ring; those two alpha males. There's
They
no
ain't got
exhibition.
they ain't
They
got
go,
no fitness. They
they,
were both so gassed. Tyson could barely even hold up his gloves.
they go,
Like it was
they,
so trash.
Well,
but
Trash.
they're gonna start pound. They're gonna just be throwing
I
here,
shots.
hope not. I hope not.
here's what Tyson said: "The fight is on with me and Holyfield. Holyfield's a humbled man. I know that he's a man of God, but I'm God's man, and I'm going to be successful May 29."
Ain't no exhibition, man. They're gonna be trying
I
to take each
love
other head
these
off.
people. I love them. Old men are hilarious.
Uh,
Oh,
uh, hey, Willie, real quickly, who you got? Tyson,
I'm
Holyfield.
going with Tyson, man. I have to because
I'm with
we
you.
were all on his shoulders, man. He was
I'm with you.
representing us, so I have to go on with Tyson. But to everybody's point, for me, like the thing about it is, and Tyson said this. He said this before he started training for the Roy
Mm-hmm.
Jones fight. He said, and I know I'm in the presence of a woman, and there are other women that listen to the show, so I'm not going to say what he said. But he said before he started training for this fight, I felt like a little bee because fighting is what defined him. And it kept him alive. He said he felt alive again when he started training. So, as much as I don't want to see these old men go at it, I know that this is what keeps these guys going.
Mm.
And so, it goes both ways. I'm gonna watch, but I agree with what everybody else was saying, including D. Like they're gonna fight. This is not an exhibition. I think they're gonna
Right.
fight.
Hey,
And
they're billing it as Holyfield Tyson 3. What does that
yeah,
tell you?
and with it
they
being a fight
Continuation.
so
and with it
dumb.
being the fight, to Kelly's point, the other thing is, okay, if you guys are going to fight and that's how you're billing it, the expectation is it's not going to be two guys that are in their mid 50s. And we ain't looking for that. What people are going to be looking for is late 20s, early 30s, where you guys, if that's what you're saying you're going to do. And I just don't see that from guys. I just don't see that. Am I going to watch it? Yeah, I'm a fight fan, but you know,
Uh,
I agree with everybody else. I can't tell people when to sit down, but I don't think these guys should be fighting.
right. Well, here's where I'm at. My heart is rooting for Tyson, but my head is saying Holyfield's probably going to win because I've already seen it twice. Like, so why would I change my mind now? So Holyfield's the one guy that wasn't afraid of him. I was there for Lewis. Tyson is on. If you remember the way they built it back then, 2002, with the pyramid in Funky Town, Memphis, Tennessee. And that was another guy that just destroyed Tyson. I remember sitting there like, gosh, man, I cried. It was almost like watching the Buster Douglas thing. It was painful to watch Tyson get beat down like that.
Well,
Past his
because
Um,
prime.
to
He
your
was
point,
past.
LL, to
but
your
Lewis was so
point,
much bigger too, and he's like,
yeah, that's what I was going to
I ain't
say.
afraid of Tyson. And
Well, well,
he wasn't Tyson at that point anyway.
well, to your point, Tyson, if he's not punching to the body, if there's no head movement, what Tyson is a cruiserweight.
Hmm.
He's always been a blown up heavy. I mean, he's
Right.
always been an undersized heavyweight.
Hmm.
When he was in his prime, he was fighting at like 205, 210.
Yeah, 210,
Right?
211, somewhere around
That's where
there.
he was fighting at,
Hmm.
So he's always basically been like a light heavy to a cruiserweight, just fighting in the heavyweight division. But what made him strong was the head movement, working the body, all those things. Well,
Okay.
unfortunately, when it was Team Tyson with Don King, all of
Hmm.
that went out the window.
Sure.
Right. So if he fights Holyfield that way, if he fights Lennox Lewis that way, where he's fighting against, guys that are bigger than him, that are probably real heavyweights,
Hmm.
then, you know, it's a heavyweight against a cruiserweight. And we
And,
know how that goes.
and Holyfield wasn't. He was
No,
considered a small heavyweight,
yeah,
but
Holyfield was
Holyfield's bigger than
212.
Tyson. But
But he's bigger than
Holyfield is
Tyson,
bigger than
D.
Tyson is.
He's
He's
Look at
bigger
how
than
taller.
much height he
Tyson.
has.
6'2".
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Yeah, he's bigger.
it's a reason
He's
why
bigger.
they measure reach, right?
Right.
Yeah,
He's bigger. He's
Yeah.
bigger.
he's taller.
That's a good point. But
I
you're right.
have a good
Holyfield was considered a
story.
small heavyweight. Go ahead, Kels, real
I
quick.
got a good story about Holyfield. So I don't know if you guys know, he's like an avid track and field fan, like humongous. So he used to have the Invitational back in day, and like everybody wanted to go to the Holyfield Invitational. And then he got so deep into it, he actually had his own track and field team. And he would take people that were from like HBCUs, that were up and coming, and he would pay for them their entire life. He'd pay for their living expenses, their training expenses. He would get them shoe contracts, and he like there's a couple people that like he really helped like springboard their career into like breaking
Mhm.
world records, getting medals, stuff like that. So like he'll always have a special place in my heart because whenever I see people like legit give back,
Sure.
that's what he did, and he helped our sport so much. So shout out to the champ.
Shout out the
Yes, sir.
Warrior, Evander Holyfield. Uh, I got to get out here in 2 minutes. I said it'd been an hour, and it's already 8:08. So let's get out here. No more than an hour going forward, guys.
Let's do it.
Compete Forever on Black News Channel this weekend, episode 43. Coach K, Coach K, Coach K, episode 43. Season 55, Madden League divisional playoffs. Final 8 teams left throughout the season. Saturday, 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern on Black News Channel. You can get it on Dish Network, DirecTV, Comcast, Charter, also ATT, and Xfinity as well, Comcast Xfinity. Saturday, 7 a.m., 11 a.m. Eastern, Sunday, just 11 a.m. Eastern this weekend. And I think we're back next week on regular time, twice each day. Also, shout out to Big League Chew, 2K Association, guys. Big League Chew, Bubblegum Fun. They're on board, title sponsor, going to do the 2K Association, the Big League Chew 2K Association. Look for it on competeforever.com/2K Association. It should be up this weekend. Live finals will be April the 24th. Online qualifiers will be a little bit before that, but make sure we get the 2K guys signed up for that, and we'll put you guys on television as well and have a nice little championship and build out the Big League Chew 2K Association. I'm out. Anybody got any final words? Any shout outs?
Shout out to everybody that's on the journey with us. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, yeah, man, absolutely. Shout out to the Antonio Williams show.
Yeah, on vocal.
Hey.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
You,
Thanks for
were-
the
you, weren't
shout
here,
out,
you weren't
LL.
here last week. He was talking and he went third person. He's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. He's like, shout out to the Antonio Williams show. I'm like, hold on, aren't you Antonio Williams?
Yeah, you got to watch it.
It was good.
I had to
It
go.
was good.
Hey, I was talking to Dennis Rodman the other day.
Nice.
I'm
I
joking.
love.
No,
I was like, I love
I'm
the
joking.
word.
I'm joking. I'm just saying because he talks about himself in the third person.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
call myself dad to my kids all the time. Hey, dad said sit down. And they're looking at me like, who the hell is that? What's that? Kids, man. Shout out to the OG podcast, the 2 Cents podcast as well. Shout out to Derwin's wife and his kid, his son. And shout out to Jasper and Little Tyke back there as well.
Wants me to show you this.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Nice.
Ah,
That thing is nice, man. Yeah. Okay. Tell him he can come in and say hi. He can wave and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what's up, buddy? Shout out to everyone in
Yes,
Houston.
Hey.
Staying safe.
Shout
I
out
know.
to everyone in Texas.
Yeah.
Rebuilding. Rebuilding the state.
Yeah. You guys keep going strong, man. Texas strong. We're rooting for you guys. We're thinking about you guys. You're in our prayers as well. We'll see you guys tomorrow. That'll do it. Thanks for watching esportsXTRA, the only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports, esports, and gaming. See you right back here live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. 7 p.m. Eastern for more esports extra. See you tomorrow.